GCK-KC Circle with Pastor Dr. W.F Kumuyi.
Hello, greetings, men and women of great renown. It is a delight and a great pleasure to welcome you to another exciting episode of the GCK-KC Circle.
The GCK-KC Circle is a consistency of all-around kingdom influences who transform and introduces an average individual with mediocrity mindset into the Champions League to make them exceptional.
Oh yes, my name is Enoch Ruben and I'll be your host for today, and standing boldly beside me is
David Ayomide. I'll be your co-host. It is very easy to become downcast, discouraged, and avoid the path to healing. However, there is more to sorrow, shame, and guilt. A divine path leads to happiness and honor.
Oh yes, and that path is what we'll be fighting today. Reminds me of a story in the Bible. A young man called Jabez. He went through shame, sorrow, and suffering. But his background did not put his back on the ground. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking you through that part where you will see divine light. And taking us on this journey of light is
Dr. W.F Kumuyi. As an advocate for youth engagement and global excellence, Dr. W.F Kumuyi shines as a beacon of innovation and advocacy for excellence.
But before we bring him on, let us make welcome our guest music minister.
The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice. All the earth rejoice. He wraps himself. He wraps himself. And darkness tries to hide. And darkness tries to hide. And tremble at his voice. And tremble at his voice. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great, how great.
wow, what a wonderful session of worship. And now, let's make welcome Dr. W.F Kumuyi.
As you look at Jabez, and you look at the life of Jabez, and you look at the conception of Jabez, and you look at the birth of Jabez, and you look at the surrounding of Jabez, and you look at the situation of Jabez, there are three things to see. Number one, sorrow. Number two, suffering. Number three, shame. And because of his circumstances, and because of his situation, and because of everything surrounding him, sorrow, suffering, shame. He woke up in the morning when he was still very young. He looked at his circumstances, he looked at his situation, he looked at everything around him, and all he saw, sorrow, suffering, and shame. Until he began to ask questions from the mother, and began to say, Mom, what's the problem here? I look at my surrounding, I look at my situation, I look at my circumstances. All I see, sorrow, suffering, shame. And then the mother began to tell the story. The mother began to say the evil things that had been on her and her family before Jabez was born. In fact, that was the very reason he gave this boy the name Jabez. Sorrow, suffering, shame. And then what will Jabez do? Before I tell you, I've read it already, but before I explain more to you about what Jabez did, I'm asking a question now. What do other young people do if they find out that their situation, their circumstances, their surrounding, everything is filled with sorrow, suffering, and shame? What do these young people do? Let me show you in Job chapter 21. Verses 14 and 15. Therefore, they say unto God, depart from us. You know, those young people, whenever they find out, why is it like this with me? How is it before I was even born? My circumstances, my situation, my surrounding, everything filled with sorrow and suffering and shame. Why? So their attitude is, in this verse 14, they say unto God, depart from us. For we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. They get angry at God. If you allowed that to happen to me before I was ever born, and all my surrounding situations, circumstances, everything, sorrow, suffering, and shame, get away from me. Don't tell me to come to church. Don't tell me to read the Bible. Don't tell me that you love me. Don't tell me you want to do anything in my life. Depart from me. And you know how many young people are like that? They just get angry at God. They get angry at the Bible. They get angry at the church. They get angry at the pastor. They get angry at praying people. They get angry at church people. They get angry at religion. They get angry about everything because see my circumstances. And then in verse 15, what is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? The attitude is prayer, forget it. Bible reading, forget it. Christian fellowship, don't talk to me about that again. Because of their situation and because of what they find on ground, the sorrow and the suffering and the shame. In fact, look at this in verse 11. They send forth the little ones like a flock. Their children dance. They take to dancing, and they take to drinking, and they take to smoking, and they take to hooliganism, and they go and they take to gangsterism. They say, well, since situation is like this, what do you expect me to do? Dancing, nightclub, and drinking. In fact, sometimes prostitution. Well, you see, that is the attitude of very many young people because of what they discover in their lives. Other people, it will be violence. I am not happy. Why do you want to be happy? I don't have peace in my family. Why do you want to have peace in your family? There is suffering in my life. Why do you want enjoyment? Violence. And they are violent. Anybody they see laughing, anybody they see happy, anybody they see smiling, they say, what's the matter with this fellow? I have sorrow, I have suffering, I have shame, and this one is smiling and laughing. They get violent, they become unhappy. Other people go to occultism. Because of my name, and because of my situation, and because of what I'm going through, occultism, they're looking for, you see that word occultism, the root word there actually means very secret. They're looking for secret power. They're saying, this sorrow in my life, this shame in my life, this suffering in my life, I'm going to look for a kind of secret power. I'll get into occultism. They'll get into covenant with the devil. Other people just go to the street and they'll be sleeping under the bridge. Other people is begging, help a poor boy, help a poor boy. My father is dead. Even my mother is dead. The mother is at home. My mother is dead. I have nobody helping me, help a poor boy. Let me survive, let me survive. They'll take it to begging. But Jabez said, there is a way. When everything is dry, when everything looks like sorrow and suffering and shame, when everything looks like it's upside down, I will look up to the hills from whence my help cometh from the Lord that created the heavens and the earth. Instead of Jabez doing all these bad things, all these naughty things, what Jabez did is that Jabez did what? Jabez prayed. He cried unto the Lord.